Happy Thursday, welcome back to the sewing room. I have been filming a little bit over the last couple of days, but I've kind of been in a funky mood again. I don't know why, no idea, but feeling much more myself today. I have been quite productive over the last couple of days. I have retraced the Anna bodice and altered that, so I needed to do a full bust adjustment and add some length to the bodice. Got that done. I then went to cut out the I kind of think it's like a large scale gingham check fabric and I was dreading cutting that out because it was a really slippery rayon. I haven't starched it. I could have starched it. I had 5 meters of it and it would have been a very lengthy process to do that, and I was feeling lazy, so I decided to just power ahead. But I did try and make my life easier on myself, and when I was tracing the Anna bodice, I traced it out so I could cut it out on a single layer of fabric rather than on the fold, and just so that I could make sure that down the front there was the stripe was straight. Really hope I've managed that. It looked straight when I was cutting it out. I then cut the circle skirt out for that, and I had enough left over to cut out a 6563 t-shirt as well, which is on the bias, which I think is going to look really cool. I do have 2 fairly large pieces of fabric left over from cutting out the circle skirt pieces. I'm not sure what to do with them. I do need to make a waist tie to kind of match the Pinterest dress. I think there's probably enough to cut out a hunter tank, but the hunter tank has a centre front and centre back seam that needs to be matched, and it's also cut on the bias, so I'm just kind of thinking that that's going to be just so problematic trying to get that done and looking good, that I think I may just not make a hunter tank out of it. I think there is enough fabric to do it, but I don't know. And also, how many tops do I need in this fabric? Because as I say, I've cut out a 6563. I also got the Doris dress traced and altered and cut out. I needed to add 4 inches of length to the skirt, and I was trying to begin with, I added it to the hem, and then I got worried that the pattern pieces were going to be too wide, because one of them ended up being 69 centimeters wide at its widest point, which is fine if you've got 140 or wider fabric, but some narrower fabrics that just won't work for. But then if you look at the back of the envelope, the pattern envelope, it actually, there is no fabric requirement for the shorter, for the narrow widths of fabric, because it's just not going to fit for the longer skirt as is. And then, as I say, I added an extra 4 inches to it. Thankfully, the fabric that I wanted to use was 140 wide. In fact, it might have even been a little bit wider than that, and I had 3.4 meters of it, so I've ended up with like a scrap that's about this big, which again I think I'm probably going to make like hair ties, like a hair scarf or something like that from. But I've got the outer and lining fabric cut out, and I had to go for a lining fabric for phone call, so I had to go for a lining for the fabric that I've picked because it's basically a sheer rayon. I could have gotten away with wearing a slip underneath of it, but you would have been very obvious that I had a slip on underneath of it, so I decided to line it in some rayon or viscose Marrakein that I got from the fabric room. I bought 10 meters of that. I think I have 2.5 meters left after this cutting out session. I have enough to make a shirt, which is great because that's what I want to do with the last little bit, and then I will be buying some more in the future at some point, because I would like to make a white shirt dress, which I will then put leafy appliques onto, but that's going to be another collection for another time. So yes, I've got my Doris dress cut out, and then I traced and altered the Shelby dress. There is a lot of wearing ease built into the Shelby dress, and for my bust measurement I think there was 5 inches of wearing ease recommended, and I know that I would not enjoy wearing that, so I've gone for the size 8 rather than the size 14. It's quite a big difference. I think I have that right. There are 2 inches of wearing ease around my bust, and then 4 inches of wearing ease around my waist, because there are ties that go in the back of the Shelby dress to kind of like just cinch it in a little bit there and give a bit more shape. The hips, basically they're over 50 inches, so I'm going to definitely have room for the hips in that one. It might not be what true bias were going for with the Shelby dress, but I just know that if I had made the size that they recommended, I wouldn't have wanted to wear it because I would have felt drowned by it. So I have gone for a slightly smaller size than they necessarily recommend, but I think it's going to look really cute. So I've got that one cut out as well. So the only things that I have left to do are the 7810 and the 8445, which are both sew-alongs. The reason that I haven't got to either of those for the last couple of days, our lovely gardener was here, so he was using power tools in the back garden, so like the lawnmower lawnmower and the strimmer and the hedge trimmer and all those kinds of things. So there is no noise today, so I have no excuse for not getting on with the sew-alongs. I haven't done a sew-along since I think August last year, so nearly a year. And I've got really nervous about it again. And I mean, you guys are always so lovely about my sew-alongs, and you always say that you enjoy how I put things together and how I explain things. And I'm just getting myself het up about filming them again for I have no idea what reason. So those of you guys were saying about the Camilla cami that it's Schrodinger's camisole. It's like both at the same time, like Schrodinger's cat is, it's alive and dead at the same time. Yeah, and I'm just building up these sew-alongs videos to just, I don't know why I'm building them up to be so problematic, but yeah, there we go. I have a weird brain, as you guys know. So it is quite late today. I think it's about 3:30. Mum and I went out for a walk earlier. We took the dog down to the seafront. We had some lunch. The dog had an ice cream, a doggy ice cream. It was a specific dog ice cream, which she very much enjoys. Dad very kindly went and picked us up because it's like this getting up and down to the seafront where we live now. So going down's not too bad, but getting up, not great. Although I do have my knee brace on, and my knee did not enjoy. It got about halfway through the walk and my knee was just like, and now we shall stop. And it's like, no, we cannot stop. We have to keep going. So yeah, that was nice though. It's kind of overcast today, but it was still very warm, and it was nice to go out. I've got my not by Hand London, I've got my Now and Then beach pajamas on, which I absolutely love, and I've got this cardigan. It's a Drops design one. Everything that I wear is always listed in the description down below if you guys ever want to know. It's always in there. There's loads of stuff in the description, so if I feature anything, if I talk about anything, if it's available, it'll be listed down below. Yeah, I've had this on today and it was really nice, but I did need my cardigan when we were sitting down and we weren't actually doing any activity. Oh, I also have some new Patreon peeps to say hi to, which is amazing. I still haven't put up a vote for next month's sew-along. Again, I think maybe I am self-sabotaging myself. I'm not sure. I just don't know what I want to do, because next month is going to be my collection around the Savannah print. I kind of know what I want everything to be. It's this cubby hole here. I kind of know what I want everything to be. A majority of the stuff that's there is bottom weight stuff. So the fabrics that I'm looking for when I go to the Festival of Quilts will be top weight fabrics. As I mentioned, I have a Pinterest board of stuff that I am looking for, and if I don't find it at the Festival of Quilts, I will buy it online. I'm thinking I might have to go for another top for a sew along, because none of the stuff that I want to make with these is stuff that I could do a sew along for. I don't feel confident doing a sew along for trousers as yet, especially more fitted trousers, because I'm still trying to work out how to perfect the fit on me, as you guys know, so I don't want to do that. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe a top, and I do have a whole bunch of really nice tops, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, you guys are awesome. I love talking to you guys. You always give me the best ideas. So I'm gonna go through my tops, pick out 4 of those to put up for a vote on Patreon for next month's sew along for the Savannah capsule collection. Really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to getting the current one done as well. When I've finished the 2 tops, the shirt and the top that I'm going to cut out today, I will have 15 projects to get through. I've got 2 weeks to do it in, so we shall see if I actually do manage it. I might do. Some of them are quicker than others. We'll see. Anyway, I have some new Patreon peeps to say hi to. That was the whole start of that waffle, wasn't it? So the very first one is the lovely Eleanor Ross. Welcome, and thank you very much for joining the Patreon peeps. Next we have the lovely Alexandria Desramo, and I'm so sorry if I've said your surname incorrectly. Welcome, and thank you for joining the Patreon peeps. Next up we have the lovely Anne Marshall. Thank you very much for joining the Patreon peeps, and welcome. And last but certainly not least, the lovely Eleanor Taylor. Thank you very much for joining the Patreon peeps, and welcome. There's a couple of videos I will link down below for explaining what Patreon is. The link to my Patreon is always in the description box down below as well if you are interested. So I'm gonna get on with some sew-alonging. It'll be fine. It'll be totally fine. I think I'm gonna start with the 7810. I got the pattern out the other day, ironed it flat to have a look at it, because on the envelope, lots of you guys have said this, they look like some of them are the pleating stops at the waist, and some, and on the picture the lady, the top that the lady's wearing looks Empire line. Having got the pattern out and looked at it, the waistline is marked just underneath the pleats, so the top that she is wearing is misleading. It looks beautiful on her and it's a really nice top, but I don't think that's what I'm going to get from this pattern, and it's a little bit frustrating that the pattern envelope doesn't quite reflect what's inside of the thing. Somebody actually commented and said, oh, they look like two different tops, and I agree with you, they totally do, but there's only one bodice pattern piece in the envelope or on the tissue paper. All the differences come from the bits that get added on under the waistline. So it's not me being dim, there aren't two types of bodice in this, it's one bodice that's supposed to do all these things. So I think that's the one that I'm going to start with because I've ironed the tissue paper flat, so we'll get going with that one, and then we can move on to the 8445 shirt. Wish me luck. See? Waistline at the line where the pleats are as well, and that is the only bodice piece in this pattern. It's misleading. That is such a lovely sight. All of the fabric and patterns are now turned into pieces of garments that now I've got to sew up. I mean, there's a lot of work there. There's a lot of work went into making that, and there's now going to be a lot of work making those into clothes. But I think the 15 projects there, I'm looking forward to making them all. The sew-alongs I think have gone well so far. I'm going to have a look at the footage tonight. 2 secs. Thought I'd actually sit and talk to you. I'm going to try and edit some of the sew-along footage this evening and see how that's come out. I hope it's okay. I'm sure it will be. I've done this before. I just haven't done it for a very long time, which is why I'm working myself up about it. It'll be fine. I've also picked out some patterns for the vote, so if you would like to have a say in what gets made sew-along wise, then you can join the Patreon Peeps. The link is in the description down below. The first pattern is the Butterick 6487, which was part of my pattern swap with Tracy B. I really like view C, which is this one here, because it has some lace inserts on the shoulders. Now I know that this is going to go up for a vote in July to be made in August, and I know that it's a long sleeve top, which doesn't seem like the sort of thing that somebody would be making in August, but we do live in the UK, and the UK is not known for its really long hot summers, so I actually think this would be quite a good one to try, and I could do it towards the end of August as well, so that it would be something to be worn in September. So that's the first one, and it's going to the variation on a theme here basically. Then we've got the Vogue 9285. I want to make view C, this one here. I absolutely love that. I do like the other two, but I'm not a fan of those kind of sleeves. I would end up with that in everything, so I want to do this view with the cuffed sleeves, and I really like the deep cuff that's on that one. Then we've got McCalls 7868, which is a really pretty top. I would want to do view D, which is the one that she's wearing, yeah, because it's gathered in at the waist, but I actually like all of the other versions as well. There's one with a necktie, there's a big collar, a smaller collar. I would probably end up putting the elastic in all of these, but it has a little slit down the front as well, so I really like that one. And then finally we've got McCalls 7659, which definitely is an Empire top. You know, the pleats from this one are definitely coming from the Empire line, not like the one I'm doing today, which is just weird. I would probably end up doing view C for this one, because again, I really like the sleeves on View C. I like that it's got the high neck with then like a cutout underneath of it. I think that's kind of very 90s, but I kind of like it. In the right fabric, I think that could look really cool. I would probably make this with the Savannah Viscose, which is something I'm planning on buying in August, so I think that that could be a really nice one as well. Oh, A and B have like little doodads on the sleeves as well, like shoulder doodads that then have pleated sleeves from, and it would be really easy to add cuffs to the bottom or elastic to the bottom of the sleeve on B, so that might be a possibility as well, because you could have some fun with colour blocking for those as well. So yeah, they're going to be going up for a vote on Patreon at some point in the next couple of days. I have got a lot of editing to do, I have got a lot of other bits and pieces to do, and I have a lot of sewing to do, but I'm really glad that I'm going to be able to start that tomorrow. I have no idea what I'm going to start with. Might do one of the newer dresses. I think maybe even the McCalls 6740 in the polka dot fabric. I'm really excited to see how that one comes out. Actually, out of all of them, I think that's going to be the nicest to wear in the current weather we're having as well, because it's a strappy dress. So I think I might start with that one, but we shall see how I feel tomorrow. So I hope you've enjoyed my day. It's been really productive. I'm feeling very virtuous, and I will see you all tomorrow.